You hear that? Literally every time I come out here to film a video for you guys on this car, there is somebody making noise. Last time it was the gardener. They come out, I feel like every day here. Now there is, I don't know, look, some water piping problem. There's always noise. It is so annoying. But anyway, in this video, I want to walk you through everything that's wrong, as far as I know of right now, with my salvaged, dragged, crashed, call it whatever you want, 550 that I just got, and it's gonna be a long list, so let's just get into it. So the car clearly had a front accident, obvious. That was the reason why it's been totaled out. That's broken. It's not good. But you couldn't see because the battery was dead, so you couldn't open the trunk. Since we're back here, it's been wet. A little bit down here, this connector is wet, and this is a fish tank in here now. So we're off to a great start. This seal also dead. Like, also dead here. Yeah, what happened here? That's another mystery. It's a mess. I just continue to walk through. I'm going to show you for what I see currently. It's not that bad. All doors open. Gaps are not bad. It's dirty. There have been 2 child seats in here, which I hope they are all fine. Like I mentioned, accident didn't even look that bad, but the headlight, the airbag deployed on the side, and this one, and also the knee airbag down there. Probably then also the retention on the seat belt. But other than that, it did not look too bad. The mileage is unknown because there was no power on there. We did get power to it with a jumper, but I forgot to check. This of course is bad, but not as bad as on mine at the moment. Airbag open, airbag open. Why is this so dumb? How often do you open? Wow. I checked the registrations on the Carfax, and the last was about 125. So let's continue the walkthrough. Damage down here, bumper is in, and it rattles behind. So I'm probably gonna take it off to look behind. What else do we have? Here's a little, that is, I don't know, a red something, little dent here. Color probably comes off, dent will probably remain. Maybe I find someone good, a good dent doctor that can put it out. Let's not even talk about curb rash. That's the smallest problem here. These are not even one flat, so someone already went cheap on it. Not sure about the lights yet, but it was kind of loose when pushing it. Hood is also done. Bumper is here in. See how bad that is? And the fender doesn't look that bad, to be honest. It doesn't even look damaged from here. But if you see the panel gap here, it is narrowing on the top. The door barely clears. That's a little bit of a thing here. It's still somewhat flush. And also some contact here. Tires are flat. I saw the rear one here is a massive screw in there. But we did get enough air in to roll it off the trailer. Some damage here on the side and also here. Maybe that was the accident. It wasn't clear in the report. It just says the rear end. And it was minor. And the report here says the front end was like a medium severity. Behold it, glorious N63. I believe this is some kind of cover that goes something on here. And there's some more popping in and out that's missing. Here we go. I don't think these should be blue. That's of course a classic, right? You know that problem. So it's taking a peek inside. Big balloon. Wheel looks actually better than mine, other than the stitches are a little bit fraying here. We have ceramic controls, which I like. This is also still good condition, just a little bit coming here. This is always nasty. I think there used to be a lid, but who knows if I can find that thing again. This is bad, it's nasty. Car is of course dirty as heck. But at least it comes with some cash, so that's a bonus. Small cash underneath there. But take it all. Of course, the car needs a major detail. And I will take it apart anyway. And then this is another of the secrets here. This pink whatever. And with 2 child seats in here. This seems like some opening or whatnot. It's been just pushed in. I have to see how to get that out. The lever is not damaged, it's just oifzy. This is incredibly gross here. I think it's been run down here, so this is gonna be a challenge to get this crap out. I might just take out the entire bench and clean it somewhere where it's easier to access that thing. Not really taking out a chair just for that. But yeah, it's not fun. It'll take a lot of work and elbow grease to get it clean. But it is what it is. You'll appreciate it more afterwards. And I just believe that the right side intercooler is further back than the left one. This one he seems to be further behind than this one. It's not ideal. It's either the entire engine is shifted, it's a little turned, but it looks like it's been pushed back. I have to see what's the matter here, if there's some damage of it like this from the factory. It would be a little bit interesting. But yeah, it is time to dig into this, and especially I want to take a look at the front axle carrier, if that is bent or whatnot. So car up in the air finally, and I'm glad I can still close the garage door. I'm gonna take a look underneath there, but I'm also gonna try to plug that thing just temporarily. It's not that bad actually. Still got some good profile on there. But as a massive screw, I'm gonna take this down because it would be a hell of a lot easier to push the car on its own wheels than on these dollies I got. It was like there's another idea. You need like 3 people to push this thing, then it works. But me by myself, not that strong though. So I'm gonna take this wheel down, take a look what's going on here. The brakes are already seen, they look pretty new all around. So that's a plus, if I can salvage them. As mentioned earlier, the gap seal is opening. The engine seems a little bit twisted towards the left side, not good. And we see what we can find underneath. I completely forgot how short these wheel bolts actually are. Anyway, first wheel in my career that doesn't roll away by itself. Stable. And I'm gonna try to fix this thing first. Maybe there's more in here. Of course, it's not an ideal tire at this point. But if it holds air, at least I can roll it, I can test drive it a little bit. And it seems to be the only damage on this wheel so far. So let's take a tour underneath the crashed 550 and see what's wrong with it. This was the accident here. It's smallest of my worries because I'm going to change that anyway. Not a big deal. Let's dive down here. And I'm going to start in the rear because I expect less problems back here. Was one problem on the side of the fender. It is just some clips here. So apparently when there was a accident on the side here, up there, it just unclipped these. That's why there's this rattle. Just gotta clip these back in and that should solve that. So I quickly push the knot just back in and that fixed the rattle. Easy fix, we're making progress. You also see a lot of scratches down here. A lot of here on the arm, it's all scratched up. All the way out there, front also. So that undercarriage damage was not declared on the auction, just as front rear. But since they only declared 2, well, that's that, right? They don't go any further than this. Nice dent in here, doesn't bother you much. Other than that, other than all the scratches, also some more on there, some scratches on the tank. Of course, the other carrier here also, you see that? That looks quite substantial, but it doesn't change the integrity of the part, just superficial. I'm fine with that. So now let's look underneath a little bit more what we can see. Can't see so much. There's some oil on here, that worries me a little bit, because I don't know where it comes from. I assume this comes from the front, because the diff is all sealed, it doesn't leak anywhere, which makes me happy. Talking about a diff, let's take a look at the classic diff bushing. Of course, that's cracked. Man, it's completely separated. So, and I gotta do it on this one and also on the other one, on the black one. Let's take a look at the front ones if we can get in there, because they also looked a little bit worn. I can't see it on this one so much. Up there, you can see there's a crack on the right arm that you can see. I had to change both of them this time, and the gibbo most likely also. Yep, you all can see. Can you see? Does it focus? Also you can see the wear on there. So rear diff bushings and the gimbal, nothing new. The rest seems fine, but that was to be expected. So now let's go further front. To reposition myself. In the mid body here, there's nothing exciting to see. So first quick look before I start taking things down. This is all coolant. So might have a coolant leak here. Just fine if radiators there to expect it. But this is all oil. And that kind of bothers me. Of course, carriers, the arms, they got a big hit here. That's not good, right? Even the roll bar, sway bar here, it's all the way up here, so it was pretty high up. Maybe that's where the coolant leak comes from, that it broke the radiator at the bottom. But in here, it's all oily, so I had to see where that comes from. The other side, same thing. Sway bar scraped up all the way. It's all broken, never mind about that. But let's see if the wheel has some damage here. You can see that. Probably both front wheels have to be redone anyway, and the rear wheel also. But let's see. At least it turns. First of all, good news. I found the other grommet that's missing on top of here. So I can glue that thing back together and use that thing again. It's nice. And here we go. Just fell out once I took the undercover up. Yay! Look, complete. Now the less good news. It's all oil. It's all soaked in oil. I'm not yet sure where it comes from. Also, it's missing parts. I think I tossed it just on here. To actually unfold this to see what it is. Couldn't bother at the moment with it. Just let it be. And let's dive down here and see what we find. So first things first, it's all green. And you have like a mild coolant leak. We have all the way on top there some coolant. More for worries, all the oil. It's everywhere. The belt isn't oiled yet, but see here, it's all out there. All of that has to be cleaned. And this time, honestly, no idea where it comes from. We have some problem with the... this rubber here should be inside there. So this came out of the sway bar. And it must have a massive side impact. The other one seems fine. Again, oil galore. Sway bar. This may just go back, but it looks like it's sintered, so it means a new sway bar. Oil, 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 oil. Honestly, can't see anything under all this thick oil film. I don't see any substantial damage. Let me take a look. I believe I found the radiator leak. It's up there, all green. But once I take this entire assembly out, we know more. But for sure, it's leaking. So for the oil, believe it or not, I don't see any substantial damage down here, which I'm happy about. I was concerned that maybe the oil pan was cracked or something from the accident, considering all the damage down here, but it seems fine, which I'm happy. Also, I'm surprised to see the oil filter down here. Like, I don't have much experience with the N63s platform. That's something I learned. And I believe the oil actually comes from up there, from the top, both sides. Because both fuel rails have oil on there, on the bottom, so it gotta come from up there and dripping down there. And it's been dripping for a long, long time. We all know these engines have a quite high fuel oil consumption, but that is absurd. That is not consuming, it's just dripping. Okay, tension struts, cracked, as it is to be expected. Don't have to bother checking the other one. But we have quite some parts. But for now, I'm happy that the engine seems fine. Visually at least, other than the oil and everything. And all of that has to be cleaned, of course. That's gonna take a ton of time, brake cleaner and tons of towels. But it's what it is. And I have to inspect the top to see if I can find where the oil comes from. Next thing, I would want to open this thing up to see if there's any oil in there. If there's oil in there, it means I can fill it up. And I can start it up as soon as I get the battery and get this cable replaced. And then I can see if it still runs. Because right now I don't even know that. Like there's so much oil buildup on this engine underneath, on the front especially. This thing, I mean, of course it's not treated the best, right? But just filling up oil, just filling up, adding more and more, leave it be. You want to kind of check sometimes if you have a leak or not, right? So yeah, this time I don't feel too bad about it. Of course, there's tons of work on it, and I expected a N63 with around 130,000 miles to be not maintained the best and have problems. So it seems to be seals all over the place, which is again to be expected with this engine because of the design and the hard V, meaning the turbos up there in the V of the engine. It cooks everything, and the oil on the outside is just what we see. I see. I also expect the valve stem seals to be done. Probably have to do the valve cover gasket anyway, and just to look inside to see what's going on. And since it's open, I might as well do the valve stems also, the valve stem seals, and have that done. Timing chain is also a thing with these things, so it's a lot of major projects on this thing. Timing chains, valve stem seals, probably also rod bearings. So those are the big three. But from a damage point of view, I don't see big time damage at the engine right now, which I'm happy about. And of course I have to see what shifted here, because something seems shifted. I will have to take off the front end, the plastic, all that crap, replace what's damaged, fix what can be fixed, and make it a running car again. So once I'm finished, this car gonna have a rebuild title, and there are two kinds of rebuild titles, the ones that are shoddy and the ones that are good. There's another dent in the door, not a big deal. If they just put a car together cheaply to just pass, done, everything else is gonna be crap. A rebuild is like a restoration, it's pretty much the same. It's all about the documentation. So the better the documentation, the better the value, the higher the value of the car afterwards. Because that just gives transparency and that gives trust that the work that was done properly, and not just quick slap together and get it out of here again to turn a quick buck. Quality work, that's what we're gonna do here on the channel. So yeah, I found the rest of the kidneys. I didn't even notice that before. Like surprises. And these here, of course I have to replace it unfortunately, but I'm gonna cut this away anyway, just like I did on the N55, because who needs those? I'm in a hot country, so I need all the airflow I can get. And I mean, this is, I think it's meant to deflect a little bit. Stones and shit, but who it is, they go through here anyway. Why is there just a piece of hose in here? And this is all just electrical tape. This is shoddy, but well, luckily. This is gonna come off anyway. This looks like crap. I'm not keeping this on here. I'm gonna replace this entire assembly. These are the PCV breather valves. They're gonna go, because chances are they're short. Oh, this is a little bit short here. It's missing the clamp to hold. Guess I will have to zip tie that. Lots of electrical tape flying around here. It's also short. Like, what is it? All these just like loosely flying around in here. Not ideal. Just that carrier here. It clips in again. We have to zip tie it. I mean, it doesn't go anywhere. No, I get it. It's between the PCV valve and the intake, but it is what it is. That's the damage that I've been seeing so far on this vehicle. Of course, once this entire front end comes off, I will see more. And once you start putting the proper parts on again, you will then see if things align or if they don't. Like right now, I don't know if the fenders are actually still straight, or if it's got a knot or something, just push back. Also don't know about the headlights. We'll take it apart piece by piece. So that's it for the walkthrough, whatever I found. And I'm unfortunately sure that once I dig more into this thing, I'm gonna find more. Because you can see, I mean, apart from the parts on it, we have oil here. That wasn't there when I left. And we have more oil down here. So it is dripping, which is bad. I also haven't measured the car yet, the suspension. These are actually still good and new, I just have to break them free. What I already anticipate I will need here, PCV valves. That's already oil on the outside. That's not a good sign because there's no oil all around it. This one probably also, you can see some moisture here. And when you look into here, That is where your intake arm comes, and I try to find it and focus on it. You see the screw is not holding anything. That pipe just broke there. The rubber seal is completely exposed and there seems to be an actual hole in there. So I have to change that arm for sure. It's a better angle from up here. See, that screw is not holding anything. It's just broken. And the other side, let me take a look. Where is it? Other side is right there. And there's not even a screw. So that is a little problematic. I gotta order a screw for that thing. And of course new intake hoses, elbows, arms, call it what you want. So we already start off fantastic. And these are just the things I see. Once I start opening up things, you need a lot of other things. Of course down here the seals. If I consider taking out the turbos to look down into the valley, I actually just ordered a little camera to peek down there because you cannot see anything. You really have to take a camera and peek somewhere down there and see if there's oil or not. I assume there will be, because the car just hasn't been serviced all that well. So with that in mind, I will have to order all the seals that go under the charger down here, up here, the one going to the manifold down there, and of course to the exit to the catalytic converters. Those seals, screws in there. I'm not sure if I remove the intake. I will see that once I get into it. But there will be more things that have to be replaced along the way, unfortunately. Right now consider just doing it while the car's apart anyway, because I just have to remove the coolant package and I have pretty decent access to this thing. Like, I don't know, whenever you remove the engine of these things, they say to drop it to the floor, but I can't, so I'm limited on the bottom and top. So that's the only thing that I don't want to do. I don't want to have to pull the engine, but if, then I'll probably put it out to the front, because it should clear along here, both sides. So I think it's possible to put it out of here straight. I hope it's been designed this way, because if not, I have no way to take out the engine. Also, this is not supposed to be like this. There's a lot of coolant leaks. This looks like it comes straight out of here from this hose. There are a lot of small things that just haven't been taken care of. And you cannot see it from up here, because you can't see anything from up here. See a valve cover down there. But I do believe the oil starts from here, because last time I was under the engine, I could see oil on both of the high pressure fuel rails, which are just right under the intake here, the valve cover here. And up here, this is my biggest pet peeve: a broken headliner. Nothing out of the ordinary with a blown curtain airbag, but finding a headliner is proving to be a lot more difficult than I anticipated. Of course you can buy a new one, but that's going to be hella expensive, and I found only local ones for pickup that have a reasonable price, but they are like 12 hours drive. Doesn't make sense. And once you start shipping these things, because they're so big, it's pretty expensive. The last quote I just got today was shipping was the same price as the part, but it's the business address. If I have it shipped to my residential address, shipping will be more than the part, and that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And now that I finally stopped making noise over there, I can tell you goodbye. How did you know pretty much everything that's wrong on this car, as far as I know right now? I have to go and get it fixed. So thanks for watching, and yeah, let's hope you come along for this little journey here and see what comes out of it again. And if you think it's worth it getting a 550 with, maybe not with the damages that this one had, you can buy one that has no damages, but just the service on the engine. That's gonna be major. So see you on the next video on this little project car.